Can we get a little audio check in the chat, por favor? A little audio check in the chat, please. Wow, guys, I'm hurting. I'm severely hurting. These home games during the holidays have just been painful. Can you guys hear me? Anyone? Anyone in the chat? Anyone? I need somebody to tell me in the chat. Can you hear me? Anyone? Anyone hear me in the chat? Thank you, Jordan. Thank you. Thank you, Jordan. It's a special pre-game show edition. I don't do these too often. Once in a while, I feel compelled to do so. And wow. Wow. Oh, wow. Your New Jersey Devils booked a massive victory last night at home against the Hurricanes, and I'm just feeling swell right now. Feeling very good about this team. You guys should too. Oh, welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And as you all know, the boys did it big. Oh, did they do it big last night at the Rock in front of a ruckus Friday night holiday break crowd, beating the Carolina Hurricanes by a score of 4-2. Jacob Markstrom just looking like the dominant goaltender I was hoping and expecting the New Jersey Devils to obtain this summer when we got him, stopping 29 of 31. And now the boys have a chance to really kind of nudge off the Hurricanes for the time being with another monumental win tonight in Raleigh, North Carolina. And moments ago, courtesy of Amanda Stein, we find out Curtis Lazar returns tonight against Carolina. Justin Dowling comes out. Jake Allen gets the start in net. No surprise there. We knew Laser would be coming back any day now. Laser is back, hopefully for good. Dowling out of the lineup, and Jake Allen is in between the pipes for your New Jersey Devils. Now, you guys all know how I feel about the goaltending situation. It is what it is. The current league essentially has all but eradicated the back-to-back starts for goaltenders. I mean, it might happen once in a while. Super rare. Back in my day, I feel like the old man. Back in my day, it wasn't as rare as it is now. As you all know, the great Martin Brodeur played 75, 76, 77 games in a lot of seasons, and he played plenty of back-to-backs. But apparently, the game has changed so much. So much the game has changed over the years that these goaltenders couldn't possibly play on back-to-back nights. And so we will see Jake Allen in between the pipes for the Devils, and hopefully he gives us a solid outing. I call me crazy. If it was up to me, I would ride Markey again. But, that's just how I am. I'm that kind of guy. Markey is in the freaking zone right now, and I would ride him steadily right now. Assuming you ask him, say, are you good to go? Do you want to play? And he says yes to both of those questions. Without hesitation, I'm throwing Markey back out there. But we're going to see Jake Allen, and hopefully it gives us some good goaltending. Obviously last night, I do believe with someone other than Jacob Markstrom in net, you could have seen a loss. The Devils played well, but it's not like it was their best game and they didn't dominate. I mean, they were outshot. And so, it's one of those things where a different goalie in net could have resulted in a loss. I thought Markey, I'm not going to say he stole the game, but he definitely preserved the game and had a great outing. Arguably, or in my opinion, at least one of his top 3 performances in a New Jersey Devils jersey. The last time we saw my man Jake Allen was about a little over a week ago on the road in Columbus, that 4-2 loss. I didn't think he had a great game. It wasn't the worst game, but he didn't have a good game. I thought the team, struggled a little bit, obviously almost mounted that miraculous late comeback. Too little, too late. Didn't happen. But, yeah, Jake back out there tonight. Laser back in the lineup. It's unfortunate. A lot of us, or at least some of us, wanted to see Curtis McDermott. That's not going to happen. But if the boys could find a way to win tonight in Raleigh, it would really start to separate them from the Hurricanes. We look at the current standings in the division, and the Devils have 51 points. Canes with 43. They have 3 games in hand, so that's why I always just refer to the points percentage. But the Devils are at a 671 points percentage. The Canes are at a 614. A win tonight would obviously increase the Devils' points percentage, decreasing the Hurricanes a little bit and just give us a little more breathing room. I fully expect Devils, Canes, and Caps to be clawing, for the division at the end of the season. So we'll see how it plays out. I do think the Devils have a good chance to win it, but regardless of whether they win the division or not, I think that they are going to go to the conference finals. I really believe it. I just think this team is built for playoff warfare. The defense continues to play anywhere near the way they have been, and we get solid goaltending. I do think we will be making an appearance in the conference finals, if not further. Obviously, I would love to win the Stanley Cup. I mean, nothing would make me happier. The New Jersey Devils winning the Cup this year would be – it's everything. That's what we're here for. We are here to see championships. It's been over 21 long years now since the New Jersey Devils last skated the Cup. And I'm backwards. I forgot. You see right there, my main man, Martin Brodeur. That photo from June of 03. So by the time this Cup Finals comes around, it will be 22 long years ago since the New Jersey Devils tasted Stanley Cup championship glory. And I'm just going to go back to, what a lot of us have been thinking and kind of talking about over the past few weeks is why not us? What teams can you look at around the league and say they are definitively better than the Devils and the Devils have no chance against them? No such team exists. And that is why I'm super jacked up. Obviously, with deep playoff runs and trying to win a cup, there is an element of luck in terms of, staying healthy, some puck luck, some bounces to go your way. You got to get lucky within games. But you make a lot of your own luck. But sometimes, you have to, pray to the hockey gods, if you will. But I do not see any reason whatsoever why this team legitimately could not win a Stanley Cup. Now, are there things you would like to see improved or, made better as the season goes on? Sure. But you could say that about any team, including, dynasty teams from any era. I mean, there's always something you could be like, oh, this could be a little better. That could be a little better. But in the end, the baseline of what this team has been doing is nothing short of miraculous. And all the credit to Fitzy. He saw the issues from last season. It started with, having to get heavier, edgier, more violent, improve the defense, get legitimate NHL goaltending, and he checked all the boxes. I would say all the acquisitions he made were stellar to very stellar outside of the Tatar signing, which was the last one when he didn't have a lot of cap space and kind of took a gamble. I am perfectly okay with that. The fact that Dylan, Kovacevic, Pesci, Cotter, Nason, Markey have all worked out, better than you could have ever drawn it up, to be honest. When I was making some of my preseason predictions, a lot of people were telling me I was crazy. A lot of people trolled me and flamed me and were like, oh, Markstrom's this and this team sucks. And then even early on when they had that little skid, people were, this is the same old Devils. And it, had to take time. Took a little time. Keefe comes in. He's got the boys playing defensively responsible, which is obviously a cornerstone of many championship teams over the years in NHL history. And when they play like that, guys, you have a chance to win on any given night. We're seeing that in the past few weeks. The Devils have pretty much been in every game. And I believe that's going to continue in the playoffs. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Max, what's up? Turn the Canes into the tropical storms again. James Israel at the prediction, Devils 5-3 win tonight. I'd be happy with that. I'd like to see, slightly less goals against maybe, but a win is a win. I'm not going to complain about that. James Israel also predicting jackhughes 3 points, which would be his 10th, I believe. If he did, he has 9. So if he was to do it again tonight, that would be his 10th 3-point outing on the season, which is quite phenomenal. Keeping up with the Devils, what's going on? Let's get that 4-game win streak. Yeah, I didn't want to talk. I talked about it on the live last night. I didn't want to talk about it in the game recap video that I put up this morning, but or should I say the game recap audio. Thank you guys for being patient with me. Some of these nights are very late. I'm very delirious. I'm a little, messed up in the head, sleep deprived and such. And when I got off the live, I forgot to unplug the cord that connects the camera to the live stream. And so I forgot to do that. And essentially, if you don't take it out, that renders the camera useless for my regular recordings. And so I pressed the button to record. It looked like it was recording. And then afterwards, I realized, no, it didn't record. You idiot. You left the orange cord in. And so I just did not have the energy to re-record the entire thing. And so you guys got that audio-only special. But the New Jersey Devils, for the fourth time this season, looking to make it 4 in a row. And as a bitter, quick reminder, the first attempt at 4 in a row, that oh-so-elusive 4-game win streak that we have not seen in nearly 2 calendar years. Last time your New Jersey Devils won 4 consecutive games was on January 14th of 2023. Oof. We're about 2 weeks shy of 2 full calendar years. But the first attempt on this season was thwarted by Mackenzie Blackwood and the San Jose Sharks and that 1-0 painful shutout loss at the Rock. Then the Devils had another 3-game winning streak with a chance to win 4 in a row on home ice and get shut out by former New Jersey Devil goaltender Scott Wedgwood and the Colorado Avalanche. So the first 2 attempts at 4 in a row ended up in shutout losses on home ice. And then the third and most recent attempt was foiled in Columbus with that 4-2 loss where they almost came back with that late comeback, those 2 super late goals before giving up the empty netter to seal it. But that was the most recent and last attempt. The third attempt of a 4-game winning streak about a week ago. And here they are again, winning the last 3 since that Columbus game with a chance for 4 in a row again. And hopefully we get a different result this time. Hopefully the 4th time is a charm. It does suck that we weren't able to seal the deal in any of those earlier ones, but hopefully they get it done tonight. What's going on, Robert? Heavier, edgier, more violent? Absolutely. This team is it's a treat to watch, guys. I'm legitimately excited as before every game. Like I said, I haven't felt this way. Yes, the 22-23 season was super exciting, and I was super into it, and I was fired up for every game. But this is different. This is just a different. I don't know if I can fully actually describe it, but I think some of you might be feeling similar things for longtime fans. And the team just has the makings to me of that true contender. And when you watch the games, it just feels different. It really does. Seth, I am entertained. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. And this team has been entertaining us. Ryan, Ace live before the game. Let's go. Oh, CJ. Hello, CJ. Cotter is going to score tonight. I would love to see Cotter score tonight. That would be great. It's been a long time since he scored. And I'm sure no one wants one more than him. I did think we were going to see him on a line with Jack for a game. We got teased with those, adjusted line combinations in practice a few days ago that were never actually deployed. So we'll see. But Cotter, yeah, I think once Cotter buries one, hopefully he could get in a groove and we see him go on a little hot streak. James Israel, I like that 4th line with Dowling. Well, now the 4th line is back to Curtis Lazar. Curtis Lazar is back. Keeping up with the Devils. Fits the offseason monster, getting Kovacevic, Pesci, Dylan, Nason, the Junkyard Dog, and Markey. Yeah. And don't forget Paul Cotter in there. Ryan Demand coming with the negativity. Allen is going to lose this for us. I sincerely hope not. I really hope not. He's been solid on many nights, and we need him to return to that form. Jeff, come on, Allen, give us a quality start. I hope so. I really hope so. Keep it up with the Devils. Ryan, he's on a 3-game losing streak, but now is the time to snap that. Ryan Allen will be calm tonight and save the day. Have faith, boys. I have faith in him. I hope that he gives us a solid outing. That's all. Jeff, nope. So I'm rooting for him to snap out of it today when he was good on the road. Yo Holmes says, Allen. I mean, Yo Holmes, you knew that it was going to be Allen. Come on, man. You thought Markstrom was going to start? Joseph said Allen needs ice time. I mean, what does needs ice time mean? I think needs ice time is a little bit of a stretch, but Amagi Schneider in the net tonight, or Markey Schneider. Would you bump your head and go back some years? You're talking about Allen. You must have just got temporarily confused there, Amagi. John Ginkley, what's going on? Don't worry too much about the number of shots. Keefe in his presser yesterday said they shoot from the parking lot. They no, the Canes throw pucks everywhere. I mean, it is what it is. If you could limit now that the record's broke, I mean, it would have been nice to keep the record going, but with 2 games against the Canes, it seemed nearly impossible to, hold them to 20 shots or less in both games. It would have been nice if we did it yesterday and at least added one more game onto the record, but a very tough feat against a team that shoots a lot. And like Keefe said, we'll shoot from the parking lot. Cape Dweller, the D is key. Yeah, the D is pretty much the foundation of all of this. Obviously, with better defense, the goaltenders should be playing better. You've seen it in Markstrom's game. He had back-to-back 12 save shutouts. And hopefully he could stand up in games where they falter a little bit. Not that they played bad yesterday, but 31 shots on goals is not a light night by any stretch of the imagination. And a lot of them are quality chances, and Markey was there. And preserve that win for the Devils. Ted, I'm loving that Siegenthaler are fighting a lot more. I don't know that he's fighting a lot more. He's involved in a little more of the physicality, rough stuff. And, he's rose to the occasion. He had that nice takedown against Bunting on the Penguins. I don't think Siegenthaler really enjoys this aspect of hockey, but he's kind of been thrust into it and given no choice on some occasions. And it's good to see because you're not always going to have the option of somebody else handling that for you. You're going to sometimes have to handle it on your own. And he's demonstrated this season that he's more than capable of doing it situationally, at least. Johnny Danks is going on. Really wish Markey was in net tonight, mostly to see if he can crush back-to-back nights. I don't know if we're ever going to see it. I don't know if these analytics math guys are ever going to let someone play back-to-backs. Maybe down the stretch of the season at some point. I just think that they're just so conditioned to believe that it's such a crazy thing for a goaltender to play back-to-back that I don't know that you're ever going to see it. But it's possible. I just would say it's not very likely. Ted, Ace, you were ready to hang Fitzgerald. I mean, that was a long time ago. And yes, I was. I was very frustrated as a longtime fan that nothing was done last season at any point, really, to try to help the team get to the playoffs. Now, coming off of that 22-23 season where we set the franchise record with 112 points, beat the Rangers in a 7-game series, made it to the second round, I thought it was a very poor decision to just allow last season to just essentially be a waste of a season. Now, I have voiced my opinion time and time again on this very channel that I would prefer to go to the playoffs and get swept in the first round than not make the playoffs at all. A lot of other people look at the more long game. I feel that a team made up of a lot of young guys like Jack and Nico and Bratter and Luke, that the playoff experience, of going into playoff battle and whether you win or lose, just the whole getting to the playoffs and at least going through a round, even if you lose, I do personally believe that experience is more valuable than whatever draft pick you may get by essentially tanking a season. Now, a lot of people disagree with that. That's fine. You're entitled to your own opinion. I will never change my viewpoint on that because I just am a believer in you make it to the playoffs, push it as far as you go. And especially, like I said, with a young group, this is valuable experience that they will take with them going forward. With that being said, I do think, and I don't know if it was entirely Fitz, but between Fitz and the owners, I feel like they decided that even if we were to make some moves to claw into the playoffs, that the team was flawed enough to where they had no real chance of winning, which, again, I don't agree with. But I believe this is kind of the conversation that occurred, was that even if they get to the playoffs, they have no real chance of winning. So rather than spend more money and make moves to try to get to the playoffs, they're just going to sit back, see how it all plays out, and get a highest possible draft pick. And I truly believe that's what happened last season. Between not getting a goalie earlier and not spending the Dougie Hamilton LTIR money, there's just nothing else that I could really rationalize to make sense of. And so I do think that's what happened. And so in the aftermath of that, yes, I am a very emotional fan. And watching the season just kind of slip away slowly with no reinforcements of any kind, I was ready to hang Fitzgerald. And I've talked about it time and time again. Now, with that being said, unlike many people that comment and watch this channel, with time, evidence and whatever else you want to call it, I can change my viewpoint. I'm not one of these people that plants my flag in a opinion and will stick by it no matter what. No, I think that's psychotic. I'm not one of those people. And so, yes, in the heat of the moment, during that painful time as the season slipped away, when we were losing those precious games in March and April, essentially killing, snuffing out our playoff hopes, I was furious. I was furious that they did nothing, and I really felt that if we had gotten a goalie midseason or even possibly in February, we would have had a chance to get into the playoffs. It didn't happen. I was mad, and I moved on from it. Then the summer came, and Fitzy went out there, and again, I was talking about this even before Fitzy did. I said, we do have, too many of these high-end skill finesse guys. This team really lacks the heart, the sandpaper, the gritty guys. The heavier, edgier, more violent guys is what I wanted to see. I grew up watching that type of hockey. I watched plenty of teams win cups, including the Devils, with that type of roster construction. And look no further than the Florida Panthers last year, playing that exact type of heavy game in the playoffs, and they won a cup. And so it's not just me, wanting to be like, I just want to see guys get smashed guys. No. Obviously, it's entertaining, but it is a recipe for a winning club. And that's what I want more than anything, is to win a cup. So when that all happened, I was furious. I was ready to hang Fitzgerald. The summer came along. He dropped that gem in the TSN interview saying, we need to get heavier, edgier, more violent. My hopes were revived when I heard that. And I was like, I hope this is not just lip service. He goes out and does it. And sure enough, he went out there and did it and gets Cotter, Dillon, Kovacevic, Nason. We get a real goalie in Markstrom. I mean, he revamped. It was the revamping of it might be the best revamping from one season to the next that I could remember, possibly since I've been a fan, in terms of the roster with like a handful of guys or so, and what the difference is in the actual on ice product. It could be up there. But yeah, you're right, Ted. I was ready to hang him, but I've been singing his praises from the summer. Even when a lot of people were saying, Dillon's old, that's not a great signing. Even some people didn't like the Pesci signing for some reason. Tons of people hated on Markstrom. But I have been nothing but positive, complimentary, and whatever else you want to call it towards Fitzy since the summer, because I love the moves, and they are now bearing fruit. That was a long one. Yo, Holmes, Fitz is going to be a buyer for the bottom six, and NJ is making a run. I would love to see it. I don't think we're going to see the big splash that a lot of people are hoping. A lot of people are hoping for a top six and some big name, flashy acquisition. I don't think it's going to happen. For cap reasons and just team chemistry. If the team continues to play anywhere near this, I don't think you want to tinker too much with the roster. Now, do I think a bottom six or middle six guy could help? Definitely. I mean, I think that's a given. And so I do think Fitz, again, will assess, he'll look at the landscape of what's going on closer to the deadline, who's looking to sell pieces off. And I think at that point, he will make a deal if one that makes sense to him presents itself. Death to Kong. 2001 is the only year I thought we were winning the cup. 95, 2000, and especially 03 were all unexpected. I'm not going to lie. During those times, I'm not going to say that I thought we were going to win the cup, but every year I believed we had a very good chance to win the cup. I mean, during the Devils dynasty years with the Scotts and Marty and that 2000 team, once we traded for Claude, I was like, whoa, Claude is back. Let's go. And then we got Mogilny. Heading into the 2000, maybe not the start of the season, but I will say I do think out of all those years, heading into the 2000 playoffs, for some reason, I felt like we were going to win. I don't know why. I guess it's just like I said, because of, Claude coming back to the team, and then Mogilny, I thought was going to be one of those types of moves to put us over the top. And, we have right above me here, my friend Jason Arnott, Game 6 hero. G. Piercy, what's up? Like, comment, and subscribe and all that jazz, and let's go Devils. Woo! Yeah, hit the thumbs up for your boy, guys. Appreciate that. With the rare pre-pregame live. Jackson, Devils the only team in the NHL with 5 players that have 13 or more goals. Wow, I like that, even though it's super obscure. I could appreciate that. Only team with 5 players of 13 or more goals. Jackson, can Keefe get us past the first round, which he failed to do in Toronto? Yes. General Keefe is going to bring this team to the conference finals this year or further. But I think at a minimum we get to the conference finals. I fully believe that. Resting Guitar Face, I thought you weren't going to talk about it. I said I wasn't going to talk about it in the video I posted this morning. I'll talk about it on here, which I guess is kind of one and the same, but not to me. For some reason, I did make a big emphasis of it in the recap videos from the game, I guess, whatever the third game of the win streak. I talked about it in the recap video that came out the following morning. I did not do it this time. Gem card collecting. Let's go, boys. Hope we get a big win today. Hate to be a bit negative, but if Allen loses today, do you think the talk starts about bringing up Dawes? I don't think within the organization do I believe all you tons of people in this chat and on social media and on different blogs and websites. Do I believe the chatter of something along those lines could pick up there? Absolutely. I mean, that's just the fickle nature of the sports business, right? I mean, anytime someone has it, you see it here too. Yeah, anytime there's a bad game by somebody, he sucks, trade him, do this, do that. So I do believe that if he struggles, you will see that, on social media and all of these things. Now, do I think the organization internally has a big conversation about that? I don't think so. I think it would take a lot more than just struggling, in this game tonight for them to bring somebody else up. I think Allen is firmly their guy. He's a veteran. He's shown, at least in various games this year and last, that he is capable of giving you really good starts. And so I think the Devils as a team have more faith in that than, trying to push him aside for one of the younger guys, even if he struggles for a couple games. I just can't see it. Cramar, I don't think Keefe had a team in Toronto where everyone is on point like this NJ squad. Goalie all the way up to forwards are synced up. We have a deep run status now. No, I agree. He never had the goalie like he does now. And while that core four, obviously, of, Mitch Marner, John Tavares, Austin Matthews, Willie Nylander is very good. I would say the Devils core four of Jack, Timo, Brat, and Nico is very close. I would say those cores are very close in terms of production and skill. I think the big difference is here Markstrom is better than any of the goalie he had, and I do believe this defense, this defense just set an NHL record, guys. This defense is light years better than anything he's had in Toronto. And so if you're calling for this argument's sake, their core four forwards and our core four forwards basically a wash, so you're giving them the same offensive talent with a way better goalie and a way better defense, I think that translates into a much better success, and in this case, going further in the playoffs. Joe Mama, Allen should be starting against the weaker teams. I don't think they really look at the matchups for the teams per se when they do these Allen starts. It's just more of breaking up the Markstrom starts, and so wherever they fall, I think they are, and they've shown that they are comfortable with starting him against any teams. Cape Dweller, watching this Devils team now, the defensive game is structured and disciplined, and this team will not be pushed around. No, absolutely. And the wins are piling up. The wins are piling up. Jeff, that line stood out to me too at John regarding Keefe about them shooting from the parking lot. Yeah, I think he's just got tongue-in-cheek kind of thing. Like, they shoot from anywhere. They're not great shots. So if you put up a high shot total night, so be it. John Ginkley, if we can be up or scoreless after the first, advantage Devils. Well, obviously, I'd like to be playing with a lead, especially on the road, would be a nice luxury to have once in a while, and hopefully they do it tonight. But, this team has shown they never say die New Jersey Devils. And with the offensive explosions we've shown, they're never truly out of it. Chico, at Cramar, I get the impression that Keefe never had the amount of buy-in from the Leafs team that he's getting from the Devils already. And I don't know too much about the inner workings of that locker room, but it does seem that some of those guys probably were a bit more difficult to manage than some of the guys on the Devils. I could be completely off base there, but I don't think I am. And it seems like this group is, taking their cues from Keefe, trying to execute the game plan, do what he asks of them, and you see the results have been there. Johnny Danks, anyone else going to see Fish at MSG tonight? I am not. I heard Fish is great. I've never been to a show, or I'm not really too familiar with their stuff. I have a couple friends that are super into them, and I've seen some clips. It does look like a good time. Wrestling Guitar Face, Ace, if you didn't jinx our win streak, I think breaking the 3-game streaks will lead to a real run like 8+. I mean, listen, 8+ would be great as well. But in the end, I am perfectly content with them never winning more than 3 in a row if they win 3 out of every 4. I mean, that's 750 points percentage hockey. Obviously, it'd be nice to go on a little bit of a run and rip off like an 8 to 12 game win streak like they did a couple years ago, which I think was 13. That would be great. But in no way, shape, or form is that a necessary component of a cup-winning team. Safe and effective, I think keeping Carolina to 31 shots is equal to 20 for any other team. Yeah, it could be. Jackson, Fitz did not do anything to get us to the playoffs, but I kind of understand he was trying to adjust to an injured team with Jack who cannot stay healthy and having the core develop. I just feel like even if we just got any goalie, though, like there was just anything, any goalie that was going to give us NHL average midseason, I felt we could have crawled into the playoffs. We probably would have got smashed. But like I said, I still believe in those experiences being valuable for a very young group that had just made it to the playoffs for the first time together the previous season. To then miss the playoffs the following year was a bitter pill to swallow as a fan. And I'm sure for many of the players, it really stung. Chico at Cramart, the Devils are also way better balanced than the Leafs are. The Leafs are very top heavy and 3 guys make $1 billion. They're limiting the quality of role players they can pick up. Jeff says for Keefe, he never had the defense in Toronto that he has here. I mean, this is an NHL record-setting defense, guys. Keeping up with the Devils, they need to get rid of this intended whistle crap. Absolutely. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. The fact that it's even a real thing for us to talk about is mind-blowing in itself. Chico, Fitz last season, I hated at the time too, but in retrospect, I respect it. He made the difficult and unpopular decision that ended up working out a lot better for us, in my opinion. We got Keefe. Well, I mean, we still could have got Keefe anyway, though. Why did that have to happen to get Keefe? Like, we could have went to the playoffs, got smashed, and still got Keefe. So I don't know, why they're kind of correlating those, but it's interesting. Lindy Ruff on a 2-game winning streak. Surveys don't mess with this team. Sad Jets fan, not dooming, but this game has shutout L written all over it. Come on, man. Former Devil in the lineup for the Canes. Backup goalies playing 4 wins in a row. Curse. No reason the Devils can't change it tonight. Let's go, Devils. John, I think Jack's 2-way game has improved, and watching Bratt finishing checks is awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's great to see. Jack is out there on the PK. He's out there protecting leads with the empty net for the other team. Love to see it. And obviously, he brings a different dimension to a penalty kill when he's out there flying around. Some guys got to think twice about what they're going to do because of one misstep, and Jackie Boy could be flying the other way, putting one in the back of your net for a shorty. And Bratt, obviously, the play of the year so far. And that coming up after the shift of the year in that Chicago game where the Nico and Timo line had them pinned deep, and then Mercer flies off. We get a full change, or at least 2/3 of a change, and Bratter smashes the Blackhawk guy, takes the puck, chips it up the boards. Pesci finds Jack, and Jack just snipes it to finish. I mean, wow. Robert, old man Rob here. How are you, Uncle Ace? I want to ask a question. If the Devils by chance win the Cup this year, will you gift one of your favorite precious collectibles? Never. I'll never gift one of my favorite precious collectibles, but if they won the Cup, I'd be doing tons of giveaways too. I'm still trying to figure out the final details. I am going to be doing a monster giveaway show soon. I just need to figure out the best way to do it. But like I've told everyone else, I would strongly advise for everyone to follow me on everything. All of the links are in this video as well as every other one. But there's going to be certain prizes that are just somehow exclusive to a specific platform. So I'm on X. There's going to be something specifically for X. I'm on Instagram. There'll be things that are strictly for Instagram. I'm on Facebook, which I get roasted relentlessly for. I would say follow me on all of those things for your best chance, and obviously watch the videos. But there's going to be a monster giveaway live show, and it will drag in those other platforms as well within the live show for a chance to win in a variety of different ways. There's going to be a ton of different ways. I'm going to be giving away a ton of shit. I'm still gathering up, from there's just so much stuff. It's going to be a great show though. A great giveaway show with a lot of different ways to win. Chico, I feel a 2-1 overtime loss coming tonight. 2 tired teams, 4 games in a row curse, like Jets fan said. Oh, man, I hope you are wrong. I sincerely hope you are wrong. Ace, predicted points on the road trip. I'm chopping it up separate because I don't really consider this part of the road trip, even though I guess it technically is. I'm gonna do a video. It'll probably come out probably Monday, which will be the West Coast road trip. So it'll be a preview and prediction for Anaheim, Los Angeles, San Jose, and the Kraken. That will be how I will break it up. And that's what that video will be. Taylor, 2001 Mogilny and Eliash, both 40-plus goals, and I believe lowest goals against in history. I don't know what happened, but I remember the Ray Bourque circle jerk. Well, what happened was the Bruins sucked. Ray Bourque was cup chasing. He got dealt to the Avs. And then the entire hockey world, they already hated the Devils, so it made it even easier for them. They all hated the Devils and their evil trap. And so they all embraced the Operation 16W moniker, which was the exit for the Meadowlands off the Turnpike, and 16 wins to win the cup, obviously. So the Avalanche kind of adopted that as their rallying cry for Ray Bourque. And that's why I'll forever hate the Avalanche and Ray Bourque. Safe and effective. You always need those second-level guys to pick it up in the playoffs, and they often do. I think of guys like Holik, Breland, and guys like that. Yeah, absolutely. You need depth players to come through. Even guys like Madden, Pandolfo had some big moments. And hopefully, our bottom 6 can kind of get it back on track and start producing again. Like to see the defense getting involved. All the defensemen last night had at least a point outside of Dougie Hamilton, but he has plenty on the season, so I'm not worried about him. Jason, no, the boys got to be better on defense tonight. Last night they gave up way too many grade A's. They did, and I'm sure it's something they were going to talk about, after the game at some point or before the game tonight. That you can't leave the goalie out to dry as often as we did last night. Teresa JS, what do you think the score will be tonight? I'm gonna go. What is the score tonight? I guess I hate doing predictions, like score predictions, but I'm going to go 3-1 Devils. 3-1 Devils, that's my prediction. Markstrom paid the boys back last night for those 12-shot games. Yeah, he really did. With a 29-save effort. Chico, at Ryan Johnson, in my opinion, Austin Matthews is better than anyone the Devils have, but as cores as a whole, I think it largely evens out in terms of skill in all aspects of the game. I think it's very close either way. In terms of the offense. Although, did anyone see the Tavares? I think, was it last night or 2 nights ago? Tavares had a sick through the legs pass to Mitch Marner for a one-timer. It was sick. It was a sick play. KB, not sure what the average age of the Leafs is, but it doesn't surprise me that a young team like NJ buys into a coach's system when it fits. I think that's part of it, right? As these guys get older and more status in the league, just like any other profession or sport, that it's harder to get compliance, unfortunately. And in professional sports, because a coach, to some extent, can dictate your playing time or your opportunity, you would think that more guys would listen. But in the end, these are highly skilled professional athletes with egos, with large bank accounts. And a lot of them probably think, like, who is this guy to tell me this, that, or the other thing? And you see it in all sports, probably way less in hockey than other sports. But I do think, the age is a factor because as, younger players, they are typically easier to get to listen, than some of the more veteran guys are. Chico, consistency is key. Give me 3-1-1 every time, and I'm doing backflips on the moon. Average goaltending makes the Devils good. The way Markstrom is playing makes them great. The defense is really stepping up, too. Ryan, Jack destroyed Matthews' NTDP record and still holds it to this day, and no one will hear it anytime. I guess no one will beat it anytime soon. Val, Natchez has been carrying Kane's first 25 games. Last 10 games, he's been quiet, and Kane's became an average team. Yeah, it's the case of when you rely on, when you're too reliant on one guy and he goes cold. It's kind of what can happen. And I hope he continues to stay cold tonight. Give the Devils the best chance of winning. Jason, no, the defense was bad last year, but Fitz could have got a Tanev or a Zadorov. They were both high on my list because of how heavier, edgier, more violent they both are. With that being said, I don't know that getting one of them last year would have fixed anything in terms of making the playoffs. I don't think one defenseman would have helped. Now, if they got someone like that and a goalie, could it have helped? Sure. But I think a defenseman alone wasn't going to move the needle in terms of making the playoffs. But I will say, I do think the way it all played out with, Pesce, Dylan, and Kovacevic coming here, I don't think with the results being what they are, I mean, this defense set an NHL record. 7 straight games, 20 shots on goal or less. I don't think that this defense would be that good with Tanev or Zadorov. Like both of those guys they were both on my list for guys, but I think the way it all played out, even if you could go back in time and change something, I don't think there's anything to change in terms of the defense because these guys are sick. Now, if you could go back in time, some of you I know would say, oh, we have so many defensemen. I would have signed, one less defenseman. You brought up one of the kids like Casey or Nemitz and then used that money that we used on one of the defensemen to go for a forward. I could entertain that argument for sure. But I think that in terms of the defenseman we actually got, though, I think they ended up being, for what the Devils needed, the best available. KB, 4-3 OT win, Bratt with the game-winning goal. That'd be awesome. You know what else is crazy? That we're nearly halfway through the season, and the Devils haven't been in a shootout yet. Kind of wild. And I'm curious if we do, if and when. I mean, is it possible to go the whole season without one? I suppose it is. But curious what the lineup would be. What's up, Wolf Rockin'? I'd love to see McDermott in the lineup tonight, Ace. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'd like to see Stahl get blasted. Let's go Devils. It doesn't seem like that's going to happen, Wolf. It seems like the only changes you're going to see is Dowling out on the fourth line, Curtis Lazar in, and then obviously Jake Allen in between the pipes for your New Jersey Devils. Amagi, if they win the cup, Ace will give those pads in the back to SST. That would never happen. Those pads are one of my most prized Devils possessions, and a long list of them. But the old school Marty Heatons, the Helite 4s, in my opinion, the quintessential Martin Brodeur graphic, the beautiful swirl on those pads. Man, I cried tears of joy the day I obtained those. What a piece. What a historic piece. That's some Hockey Hall of Fame shit. Keeping up with the Devils, give us a midseason record prediction. I mean, what is that, 3 more? I'm not going to do that. Was it 3 more games? I'm going to do a at the half kind of video too. Jay Snow, I want to see Big Mac too. Carolina, not a physical team. I want to see the Devils come out and start throwing the body. Yeah, fast starts. That's one thing that I keep begging to see. And we never saw it. I hope they come out smashing tonight. Ace is still on Facebook with the old folks and bots. Yeah, I mean, people use Facebook, guys. I am an old folk, and there's a lot of old folks in here. It makes perfect sense. So, yeah, don't follow on Facebook, and you just won't be eligible for the Facebook prizes. What can I say? Sad Jets fan, I like that the Devils are making the Rock a tough place to play again. 5-game heater at home. It's got to be the Drones. 12-4-1 is their first spotted over New Jersey. The Drones are beaming superpowers into the Devils. Ace is a liar. He'll promise you a giveaway gift, but will never send it like he never sent my beanie. Oh, do you want the beanie, SST? Because just so you guys know, you could see the comment here. I'm trying to get it on the screen. Will this focus? Well, let me see if I could get this in focus here. Look at the bottom. You see that? The bottom comment on my phone, you can see from SST. You can keep that beanie, expletive. You see it? SST6601 at Running with the Devils. You can keep that beanie, expletive. So when someone comes for me, I'm going to come back. I did not send it because he wrote that. So do you want the beanie or not, SST? Traveling Devil, what's up? What are these people talking about losing tonight? Canes goalies are bad, and they are 5-6-1 over the past 12. Yeah. Hopefully, their somewhat of a struggle continues. We need the points. We absolutely need the points. I'm expecting a win, and it'd be huge. It's a huge game. John Ginkley, good chance to dummy Gudis on this trip for the Lazar outage. I would love to see McDermott in that one. He had that great bout with Johnston early on in that Ducks game in late October at the Rock. I think we need to have McDermott in that one. McDermott better smash Gudis. They'll send McDermott after Gudis, and Dylan or Kobe can fight Trouba. Joseph 3-1 is my prediction too. 2001 Gomer coughed up the puck in Game 6. Jay Snow's been hammering on Halla, and he's dying to get me to do it too. Ace, when will Halla score his next goal? 2026 or 27? We're going to find out. I'll go 2025. Jeff, don't remember that one, Kate, but I remember the kicked and no goal that came from Gomer. Yeah, I remember that. I was behind that net when it happened, and I saw it vividly. I didn't even stand up and celebrate. When everyone jumped up and the horn went off, and that oh so beautiful goal song came on, and people were losing their minds, I was just sitting in my seat, and I turned to the people in my row, and I was like, that goal's not counting. No chance of counting, and obviously it didn't. They went on to lose the game and then lose the series. A forever pain point in Devils history. Jay Snow, Kovacevic making league minimum is a steal. Keeping up with the Devils. Devils need to get a young goalie somehow. Don't care if they develop it or trade for it. Markstrom is good, but he's 35. Well, he's here for one more year at a minimum. I can see him being still good next year and re-sign for one more year. I don't think that's that crazy. With that being said, we have a million young goalies in the pipeline. Isaac Poulter, Nico Dawes, Jacob Malik, Tyler Brennan, Mikhail Yegorov. There's another Finnish kid whose name I can't pronounce, but we have a good 6 guys that are all young in the pipeline. If none of them pan out, we should never draft a goalie ever again, because it's a complete waste of draft capital if we draft that many goalies and don't hit on one. And if that's the case, they'll just have to go to the market and trade or sign for one when the time comes. The Rush Machine is back in the lineup for the Caps. Who would you rather have to play in round 1, Washington or Canes? Two months ago or before the season, I definitely would have said Washington. Now I think I'd rather play the Canes. But neither one of those teams is going to be an easy team to defeat in the playoffs. Jeff, don't jinx the no SO ace. I'd be happy if we never saw another one ever. Oh, Devils, big road trip starts today. Let's go, Devils. Yeah, it's a big one. Let's go. BDN, my only worry about tonight is Allen. If he has a good game, we have a chance, but he's in his recent form. It's going to be a long night. KB, I wore the Helite 4 when I played in college. Blue, black, and white, but still, I've seen photos of it. It looked really nice in that color scheme as well. Obviously, it's not Marty's with the red, white, and black, but the blue pattern looked very cool. I've seen them before. B-Ted, either Caps or Canes is okay. They are both fake teams and all soulless NPCs. If he's in recent form, SST, I deserve those pads. Chico says you deserve a pen straight jacket. Eddie, love to see Timo with some big hits tonight. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Timo doesn't get enough credit. A lot of people, again, just look at pure production for not only him, guys like Dawson Mercer and a lot of other guys. They just look at the points. There's a lot of intangibles that go into the game. And I do think Timo being an agitator and a bull and just driving guys, he doesn't get the credit he deserves, I don't think. And I think a lot of that has to do with the contract extension he signed and the unreasonable expectations from a lot of the fan base, in my opinion. Keen Faust, who's your favorite devil of all time and why? My favorite devil of all time is the great Martin Brodeur. I don't think really need any explanation for that. Became a fan in 94 when his career was just kind of taking off. I played street hockey goalie as a kid for a stretch. And obviously Marty was the franchise for, almost my whole life. And then my 1A kind of guys would be Scott Stevens and Kenny Danico. SST Chico, you deserve the Val against Red Nose. V-Ted says, I'll take the beanie if he doesn't want it. SST falsely claiming his account was hacked. Traveling Devil said he had an adult tantrum, or if he doesn't deserve it. NJ Swamp Fox, wow, the beanie's has become a contentious issue here. SST doesn't deserve a second shot at the beanie after telling you to shove it. It was gifted by Traveling Devil, so this is all in his court. And he gave it to him. SST says, I deserve to die. What? BDN, Allen is the weakest link in tonight's game. I guess by default, I'd have to say you're correct. Just because if you have to pick one, I would have to go with that. Jason, does anyone think Hall is playing well? Maybe I'm in the minority here. I don't know about well, but I don't know that it's to some extent. To me, you have to produce a little bit to be considered playing well. But I think there's also a category of that you are not if you're not a liability in some instances is good enough for at least stretches of time. If you're not a liability, it's like if you can't be a plus player, don't be a minus. And I think that's maybe kind of where he's falling in at the moment. But hopefully we see some production out of him soon as well. Ernad, if we had to trade away one of the guys today, who would you pick? I mean, that would depend. That's not really a straightforward question, in my opinion. I mean, I would like to get a bottom six or middle six guy. So whoever you want to bump out with that, would be the answer. Traveling Devil, post your apology, SST. Cape Dollar Canes without Anderson in goal. SST says never. Jeff, no deposits today. Traveling Devil from the heart. Deposit your apology in the chat, SST. Jeff, no deposits ever. We know the MO. Oh, man, you guys are killing me. Rich Reynolds, Jason, I was at the game and noticed Hall a couple times, some solid plays separating the Canes from the puck. I think he's playing his role well. Yeah, he's a checking center, guys. I mean, that's, I do think, he gets in those feisty areas. He does make these kinds of plays. And again, I would love to see more point production, but that's not always going to be the case. Hopefully he picks it up. But I think a lot of people out for blood are just looking for straight points, and they do it to everybody. Timo and Cotter as of late, some people, not many, but some people are on that. BDN, if we trade for two mid-bottom six guys, we are a cup contender. I think two is asking for a lot. Who are you pushing out of the lineup for two of them? I'd be curious, BDN. Who are you pushing out of the bottom six if you're getting two guys? SST, he said bad things about me that I'm always negative, and he got what he deserved. You are always negative. That is what it is. I'm killing him with kindness. Jay Snow, he needs to chip in some offense. 11 points, and he's a -4. And, there it is. Rich Reynolds agreed there on points. Jay Snow, Lazar is playing tonight, baby. Curtis Laser Lazar back in the lineup for your New Jersey Devils. Rich Reynolds, even Jay Hughes and Bratt were throwing some weight around. Yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool to see. I don't know about Jay Hughes. Jay Hughes, I don't think, is throwing any weight around, but Bratter's out there smashing people. Obviously, I can't talk about enough. The play of the year leading to Jack's goal in that Chicago game was phenomenal. Bratter just charging after a guy and just roughing him up and smashing him into the glass like he insulted his mother or something. It was beautiful to see. And then he had an absolutely thunderous cruncher in that Ranger game. Beautiful hit. Maybe the best hit of the game was by Brad, and he led the team with 3 hits. Love to see it. Heavier, edgier, more violent. And even one of your resident superstars, Jesper Bratt, is getting down with this movement. KB, Ace's hockey history is the exact same as mine. Started watching in 94. First hockey game I ever watched was 94 Eastern Conference Finals Game 7. I wanted to do what the kid in net was doing. Yeah, Marty was doing it big, man. Played street roller hockey goal for a while, then moved to ice. Nice. I've only messed around on ice. Never really played, organized. My high school didn't have a team, and so it was very expensive and crazy to kind of play recreationally as a kid. It was like wake up super early in the morning. It was a lot of money. And, I just mess around on the pond here and there. I love the drama. NJ Swanfox, the beanie on SST's head is a walking oxymoron. Rich Reynolds says, KB, you could add me to that group as well. I guess of guys that we all kind of became fans during that era and that beautiful moment in time. John Ginkley, MSG Network pregame show soon. Oh, yeah, I'll be getting off of here in a couple minutes. You know my style. I like to watch everything, so I would never do my own show concurrently while any of those things are on. Ryan Johnson, no, I agree. Hall is invisible, doesn't hit, can't make plays, loses faceoffs. He's mediocre at this point. I think that's a little aggressive. B-Ted, Hall had a long cold streak in 22-23. He was good versus the Rangers first round. Yeah, and that's where a lot of these guys will have opportunities in the playoffs to maybe not necessarily make up for lackluster regular seasons, but in the end, they can really, you could become a franchise legend essentially in one playoff run. If it culminates in a Stanley Cup, you could become a franchise legend. Ernad wouldn't mind trading away Tatar at this point personally. I don't think anyone has any interest in him. I could see, people wanting to move on from him. I wouldn't be gutted if it happened. I don't know what kind of trade value he would have. Jason, no, we need Allen to be good tonight. Control rebounds. We know Carolina's going to be throwing pucks at the net from the second row. Absolutely. BDN, I try to move Bastion and Hall if I had to choose, but I feel like moving Hall would come back to bite us because he does the things that don't show up on the stat sheet, and I agree with you there. And I do think Halla has a lot of that dog in him. He has a lot of that aggression. He might not come to mind as the toughest most physical guy, but for a guy of his stature, he has that dog in him for sure, and he's shown it situationally. I do like Halla. I think he's a great locker room guy, and I think getting rid of him would probably be more negative than positive in ways that people might not realize right away. B-Ted, also Plot was invisible offensively till recently. He's coming around. Give Halla some time. Traveling Devil, Halla and Cotter are due. Tonight is the night. I'd love to see it. Pete, maybe we could get Zibanejad with Rags retention for our bottom six. Kidding, but it'd be funny. I don't think they're ever going to give us a player. I don't see it happening. Rich Reynolds, Ace, was that you on the selfie cam at the game last night? Not to my knowledge. If I was on, then I totally missed it. Traveling Devil, Plot has come to life after a slow first quarter. Yeah, playing with the big guns, baby. Jack and Jesper. SST says, it was Woodson. He logged into my account while I was taking a shower and said what he said. Traveling Devil still calling for the deposit. KT, Ace, have you ever thought of doing a live game stream? People have talked about this. I don't think it's really for me. To be honest, I never planned on doing any of this shit, KT. Videos, lives, I didn't plan on doing any of it. I randomly was putting up clips that I thought were entertaining of the guys at games or things at the games. Kind of started with the Luke Hughes NHL debut, kind of behind the scenes video. Then I did some, videos that I just recorded myself at the arena during the Rangers series, like the fans leaving in droves and nah, 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 nah. I'm waving to them and stuff like that. And so this all kind of snowballed from there. In terms of doing a live game stream, I just don't know. I've thought about it. People have do people really want to watch that? Like, I don't know. I just find it like, I don't know. I'm not against it, but also because I watch on Fubo, and typically I have some friends that have MSG on like regular cable, traditional cable. And sometimes they're like 10 seconds ahead of me and they'll be texting me shit and I can't look at it. And likewise with, I guess, whatever some of you are watching on, sometimes in the post game, a lot of people will sometimes be in the chat of the post game stream. They'll be in the chat during the game, and the same thing. A lot of times it's so far ahead. And so I don't know how that would work out. I mean, that's probably my biggest concern is figuring out how to not I guess have things spoiled in that fashion. It's all very interesting. I'm not against it, but like, do people really want to watch that? I don't know. Suka, can we get 4 in a row today? Let's go. I would love to see it. Jay Snow, Cotter makes an impact every night. He's out there throwing the body and winning board battles. Heavier, edgier, more violent, an absolute dog in the top 10 or so in the league in hits, and you need that. You need guys like that, and I love me some Paulie Cotter. Amagi, don't move Hall. He has that dog in him and a huge passion for this team specifically. I would love to see him retire as a Devil. I think I would too. Yeah, John, Ace, are you doing the post live during the late night West Coast run? Oh, you know it, John. I'm not going to let, the 1 a.m., 2 a.m. kind of, well, actually, so that's interesting. So the Kings game is there's only one that's late. Well, I guess, let me back up. Okay, so it will be late New Year's Eve. I haven't decided what I'm going to do for that. I don't think I have any plans, and so I might, essentially the post game would start at around 11:15 and go through New Year's. I guess I'll probably be doing that. I'm not definite, but that's likely. And then the middle 2 games are 6 o'clock and 4 o'clock Eastern time, so those aren't late. And then the only other late one is the Kraken at 10 p.m., which would be like a 1:15 start for the post game. And I did several, or at least a couple that were started at the 12 or 1 o'clock Eastern time when they were on the Western Canada road trip. So no matter what the time, I will be doing the post game. Hall should be a 4C. That's what he is now. And what do you do with Laser? Hit the like button. Thank you, Swamp Fox. Hit that like for your boy, please. BDN, even though Palat wasn't producing, he's one of the driving forces of Brat and Jack kicking it up. Yeah, he's finally, chipping in on the score sheet. You'd love to see it. And maybe, he could be complimentary to them. I do think if they had another elite winger on that line, they would be better. But maybe, Pally, again, defensively more responsible than them, and does those little things that doesn't always show up as well. Palat gets in those little scrappy board battles in the corner and comes up with loose pucks a lot. And so I think a lot of that goes unnoticed as well. And I'm not on the, drive Palat out of town train whatsoever. Obviously he's getting overpaid, but it is what it is. Rich Reynolds, who's scoring first night for the Devils? I'm pulling for Cotter to break out. Oh, I mean, that'd be awesome. I would love to see Cotter break out. But if I had to pick who scores tonight first, I'm going to go Bratter. Amagi, live game streams are kind of to be honest. It's better to make a compilation of you reacting to the highlights, if anything, like that one Ranger guy does on YouTube. I don't know who that is, but send it to me. I'll take a look at it. SST, Allen and net tonight, so I'm not worried for results. Save 2 points for us. That's interesting. B. Ted Hall's face-off percentage is 56%. Selected boy, what's up, Devils folks and Ace? What's going on? B, I like our bottom 6. We just need one more dog with some scoring touch. Prob trade in a few months. Yeah, I like that. Give me a feisty score guy that can score. Dire Wolf, I think Cotter is scoring tonight. Just a feeling. A lot of you seem to be on the Cotter thing. I like it. I would love to see Paulie bury one. Jay Snow, people do a live stream for every team besides the Devils. Well, the Devils lack a lot of stuff, unfortunately. And that's part of the reason why I started doing this too. It is what it is. They're not a small market hockey team. Doesn't scream, all these different things that other sports and other teams have. Select the boy. Defense got to make sure they become a fort for Jake Allen. Jay Snow, Lazar not a true center. Move him to the wing. I wouldn't be opposed to that. And then you're leaving him on the fourth line. So then your fourth line is Halla, Lazar, and who? Traveling. You have some brutal game times coming up, SST. B-Ted, Canes are playing their backup too, really third or fourth stringer. I hope our boys are just chucking pucks on net as well. Throw pucks on net, and sometimes magic can happen. I am always a proponent of throwing pucks on net and looking for a tip, rebound, deflection, because these things have proven to be effective against the Devils, and across the league teams do this. I feel like other teams have scored a million times by just ripping shots from the point and then either banking off of somebody, deflecting, whatever. Won't be watching. Maybe Anaheim game early. U.S. beating Latvia 5-1 in the third. Latvia has some good young players. That's obviously talking about the World Juniors. KT, I'm definitely one of those people who watch the game while in the comment sections of the post game. It's almost like watching the game with a bunch of other fans. But you're right, it'd be a difficult thing to pull off on your end. Oh, man. This comes up every so often. Ryan, hate the McLeod thing, but I love the guy as a player. That was a big hit to the team. Completely massive hit. I can't. How good would this team be with Mike McLeod right now? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It'd be ridiculous. Jason, no, I'd love to see a Cotter goal. I'd like to see him shoot a little more. Okay. That's Rich Reynolds. Luke was buzzing with Jack last night. Their cycle is lethal when they get going. Yeah, the chemistry they obviously have, and they're both elite playmakers and elite skaters, and they're both elite puck handlers really as well. I mean, they're very offensively gifted, and when they are moving it around, especially when you see them on the power play together, it's somewhat magical. It's somewhat magical. Jay Snow, Cotter's shots a game are super low. Yeah, you don't see a ton of chances from him. I would like to see him maybe get a sniff on a power play here and there. And even if it's just to get him out of the slump, to let him bury a power play goal. Amagi, my tinfoil hat theory is that McLeod was playing out of his mind as his impending doom was in the back of his head. It's possible. Jay Snow, McLeod was a first-round pick who found his role in this league. Yeah, I mean, I believe he was on pace to possibly set an NHL record for face-off percentage. I'm pretty sure he was on pace for an NHL record. SST says McLeod will be acquitted and will play for us. Oh, no way. I don't know enough about it. I've read a good amount about I didn't study it. I will say I do think he has a decent chance of being acquitted. With that being said, I don't think there's any chance he plays for the Devils. And I think it's a very slim chance he ever plays in the league again. But he definitely won't play for the Devils. Just kind of knowing the way they operate, there's no way. Even if he's acquitted, he's done as a Devil. For sure. I love Cotter. Sometimes he gets caught up in the ozone, getting over aggressive, which hinders his scoring. Oh, wait, I'm going to wrap up here, but I'm just going to show. I have so much shit on my desk that I have to sort through. I don't think I showed this before. BDN, even though our bottom six isn't putting up a lot of points, other teams aren't scoring that much on them. Yeah, as long as you could just be kind of a neutral while the top six does the heavy lifting for now. I mean, the wins are there. Obviously, you want to see the depth scoring pick up. You don't want to go into the playoffs being a two-line team. Amagi, yeah, it'll bring a massive amount of drama, especially in this day and age. Yeah, there's no way he's coming back. But a couple of you guys were talking about the 94 team, and so I will share this. Is a recent pickup for the memorabilia collection. And what you're looking at here is a game day lineup card from March 17th, 1994. This was a New Jersey Devils road game. And you see there the goalkeepers, the great Martin Brodeur, who got the start, and Chris Terreri. And then you look at the rest of the list there. Fetisov, Danico, Stevens, Albaline, Peluso, one of my favorites, Mike Peluso. What a legend he is. Bernie Nichols, Millen, Guerin, Johnny Mack, John McClain, Bobby Holik, Tom Chorsky, Bobby Carpenter, Randy McKay, Claude Lemieux, Bruce Driver, Valerie Zelapukin, Scott Niedermayer, Stefan Richer, and then on the bottom there, hand signed by the man himself, Jacques Lemaire. Thought this was a cool pickup. I love shit like this. Super sick piece. Super sick piece. I'm dying to know. I'm going to do a research. I'm dying to know if this was filled out by Jacques Lemaire or not. I know it's signed by him at the bottom. A lot of coaches have other staff members fill out the roster and they just sign it. And then I think some guys actually fill it out and sign it. But I'm gonna have to get into the lab and do some forensics to figure out if it's his handwriting or not. PJP, I saw a Holik jersey in the crowd yesterday. Is he one of the ones Amagi probably knows because I kind of tune these things out, but is Holik one of the guys that Mitchell and Ness started making those? And I'm not trying to be a dick, but you guys know I'm a Jersey snob. Mitchell and Ness did those Cup series. I believe both 2000 and 2003 jerseys they've made. And I think Holik might be one of the ones that they've made. Let me just see if I can find this. Yeah, he is. Yeah, they did the 2000 jersey. It's probably what you're seeing. A rash of all of these kind of replica remakes that Mitchell and Ness is doing, which is probably what the Holik jersey you saw in the crowd was. It could have been an original, but I doubt it. It probably more than likely. Select a boy. Wow, that is sweet. Thank you. Traveling Devil, nice find. Yeah, whenever I see stuff like that, ooh, I gotta have it. Gotta have it. Let me see what else. Where'd I find that? So Rich, I'm known in a lot of memorabilia circles for being an obsessive Devils collector. One day I hope to share my final real Devils museum. And it's extensive. It's more than people can imagine. I don't even want to talk about it anymore because it's annoying to me. I have to figure out how to make it happen. But one day I will have it, and it will be a sight to see. Where is Peluso? No appearances, signings, etc. He's one of these guys that once they retire, they kind of just sort of fade to obscurity. And I think Mike is kind of one of those guys where he's not really involved in the game anymore, and he's just kind of, living his life as a civilian wherever that is, to not really be heard from, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Inside source. Not really an inside source. It's just, people know that I am quick to buy stuff if it's of a certain ilk. The more unique, the better chance I have of buying it. And especially like these lineup cards aren't necessarily game used or game worn, but they're kind of woven into that a similar, I would say, category. So it's super unique and stuff like that. I always liked. I checked my personal archives. He won that game 6-1 against Buffalo. Very nice. I actually didn't even get it. I just got this recently. I didn't even get a chance to look up the results of the game. I've been meaning to to do that for a while. I haven't. Mike Peluso, unfortunately, has health problems from multiple concussions. Yeah, I've seen some stuff with that. All right, guys, that's it. I got to go get ready. The pregame show's coming on. Thank you all for joining. This is fun. John, is Peluso on the crash line photo behind you? Yes, it is. I'll see if I can move my fat ass out of the way so you could see it. He's on the far left. There's Peluso, McKay, Holik. All right, guys, but I'll be back. Hopefully we open up a can of whoop ass on these boys in Raleigh. Your New Jersey Devils looking to make it happen. Let's get this 4 in a row. Hopefully Allen is solid. Hopefully we get heavier, edgier, more violent from puck drop. Hopefully we come out and bring the pain. I'm going 3-1 Devils. I hope we're back here to celebrate another victory in the post-game live. I will see some of you later. Thank you for coming out on the rare pre-game. And I'll talk to you all later. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.